Namaste, I'm Jeni Ji. Thanks for tuning in. Now, before I talk about this week's cosmic vibes, it's going to be an extraordinary high vibrational week. I'm just saying, right? So now announcements. Listen up, you guys. Chop chop. So for those of you who've been watching my videos and such, I started going live here on YouTube doing free psychic clairvoyant readings. I'm an international known television clairvoyant psychic medium. I do a lot of past life akashic records, animal communication, and so on and so on. So the next live is Friday, June 28th at 12 noon Mountain Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern or 11 a.m. Pacific. So tune in right here on YouTube in order to catch and get a free reading from me. Or you can book a private session and reading, soulworkwithjeni.com. My team puts up notifications on social media when I'm going live. And all you need to do is click on the link. They'll put click on this link, or you can go to YouTube. You'll see the little thing where it says going live next on this date, right? And then you can mark your calendars and so on. Follow me on Instagram, Jeni Cousins, right? And there's a lot of notifications that go up that my team put up, and on Facebook and so on, all my social media profiles, right? So pay attention, you guys. I'm just saying. So now this week, the 15th to the 21st, we have the strawberry full moon. We have the solstice, and we have a master number day, right? So we're going to talk about how we can utilize these energies to the fullest. What can you expect? What could you be going through? Why things are happening the way they are? Because these energies affects all of us and your animals, right? All of us get affected. We've had some huge major solar storms and solar flares coming into Earth. If you look back even last week, you might have felt a little bit kind of dizzy or like a lot of headaches or a little bit nauseous and so on. So it's really, really important to drink a lot of extra water. I tell that to everyone, increase your water, drink a lot more water, because even when you're tired, people will drink coffee, right? But if you drink water, that will help the dehydration, right? All of us get affected. Like I'm a Leo, so I get affected because I'm a fire sign. So, I build up my flames, as I call it, right? Like for those fire signs, your body will heat up a lot faster. So increase your water this week, you guys. Now, how many of you guys are following your soul's calling and your purpose? How many of you guys are doing that? Like even myself, right? Like with my work I do, even if I had millions of dollars, I would still be doing my work because that's who I am. That's my soul's calling. That's my soul's purpose. I help people. I help transcend people. I give you all of my clairvoyant insights, help you remove blockages, and so on and so on and so on. Right? So when you're following what you're really passionate about, when you can feel it, that excitement, you're on your right path, right? But Jeni, how do I know? You're going to feel it. Like you're just going to feel it. Like, we all have many gifts and talents and abilities. We're all unique in our own way. This is one of the reasons. There's many reasons why you've incarnated in this lifetime. However, you're going to feel it when you're like, you know what? I really do feel that this is a path for me. You have to listen to that. You could have other people saying, why are you like wanting that? That's not going to work out for you. Like why would you do that? Why? Like, let that go. Remove that negative energy. We all have different parts about ourselves. Like I'm very passionate about so many different things, and I follow that footprint. That's my soul's footprint. It's not just, like my spiritual work that I do with my readings and so on. I work on a lot of other things. Like I write, I've actually got 7 books on the go, to be honest, for quite some time. Got my publisher all over me. I love filming. I love doing many, many other things, photography, you name it. So these are certain things that I work on that I'm very, very passionate about. I'm also an activist. I stand up for humanity and the animals and so on and so on and so on. That's why you have to tune in on my social media platforms to see that if you want, right? However, there's different sides to us, like all of our lifetimes. That's why I do past life akashic record readings, because all of your lifetimes, you're the same soul. I'll read into all of your other lifetimes and tell you, what your journey is here, why things are happening, all of that. So it's really important you be authentic, be yourself. Like I resonate and connect with authenticity. When you're trying to be somebody who you're not, it's not going to work for you because your vibrational frequency is not going to align up with your soul, right? When you are being you, things are going to happen. New doors are going to open up for it. You're going to feel it, and you're going to feel at peace. This is who I am, and own it. Believe in yourself. Believe in you. Yeah, but Jeni, I'd like to do this and this and this and that. And that's awesome. Are you taking classes? Are you learning more about, let's say, if you want to learn about this or go into that direction and so on? Expansion is so important. I read every day, like I'm very passionate, as I mentioned, about many different things. And, like at nighttime before I go to bed, I'll be reading. I'll be reading different books and things that I'm really passionate about. And I expand it and so on and so on. That's why you have to be you, no matter what it is, right? I'm not a dragon slayer. I have slayed my own situations, yes, right? However, be you. Stay true to you. Stay true to you. This is a huge vibrational week, as I said. The vibrational frequency is off the charts this week. It's a huge week to manifest. This is a huge year for manifesting, yes. However, this week especially, it's off the charts to manifest. June 17th is the master number day. You're going to feel higher vibrations coming through. You very well could be manifesting, and you're going to see things. How many of you, whenever you're starting to think about something, or all of a sudden you hear from somebody you're thinking about, or you're like, maybe I'd like to take this course, or maybe I'd like to look into that, all of a sudden out of nowhere, you start getting these signs. You could see an ad pop up on social media. You could be out and about, and there's signs everywhere. I literally hear signs and get signs 24/7 from the spirit world. I can wake up in the middle of the night and get bombarded with messages from spirit 24/7. I get messages, right? So it's really important to take time out for you. Open your heart, open your wings this week, you guys. Embrace yourself. When there's love, when you're following your passion, there's no fear. You might feel that kind of little bit, oh, can I do this? Yes, you can. Let go of those energies, people that are pulling you back. You can't do that. Why would you want to take that course? You're going to be in school for years. It's going to take you years to learn that. Does it matter? Is that their journey? No, that's your journey. I keep a lot of my projects quiet on purpose. Believe me, I've learned that the hard way. I no longer talk about what I'm truly, truly working on with anybody for many reasons. I learned that the hard way, right? Keep things to yourself, work on your projects, work on your things, and then you can get it out there when you're ready, and so on and so on and so on, right? The 15th and the 16th, mind you, this week, you might be feeling a little bit more courageous and daring and adventurous. So really pay attention to where your soul's, like taking you to. And you might have a little bit of insecurities yet that day too, right? You might be like, oh my gosh, can I do this? Can I go bungee jumping? Can I jump out of a plane? Like, I'm not saying that's going to happen, right? But you're going to know what your insecurities are. This is a year, of course, when we're doing a lot of healing as well. We still have the Chiron energy throughout this year and such like that. So you're going to feel a little bit more emotional because we do have, the full moon coming back, and really reflect back as well to the past 6 weeks to see where you are now this week. What were you working on? What were you going through? Like even reflect back, January 1st. What was happening? Where are you now? And really start taking these leaps forward, because you're going to find on the 18th and the 19th that you might take those leaps of faith. You might be like, I have to do this. I have to work on this now. You have felt that the new is coming in your life. Your soul's purpose has been calling you and calling you. You can feel it. Even a couple of days ago, I heard something coming in from spirit, and I'm like, that spirit gets really loud with me when they want to pass on a message. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay. And I started to do this. And then I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you. I'm so grateful. Thank you, Spirit, for showing me this. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Life changing, huge, the simplest little thing. Even when you guys feel that you're not transcending forward, it's those little steps you're taking that can change your life. Yeah, but Jeni, I want this to happen now. Why isn't this happening now? And why is my healing taking so long? Stop right there. Stop right there. We all have our own journey. We all have stuff we are working through, and especially whenever it's past life connected. I'm working on a relationship. I'm working on a career. I'm working on myself. I'm trying to let go of all of these types of people, or like whatever it is. Please be gentle on yourself, because you are moving forward. When you're dealing and trying to heal, especially with past life situations, that's harder to deal with, because you feel that connection with someone, especially if it's like a twin flame that you're trying to heal from or let go of, a toxic situation, a toxic, whatever it is, that can take longer. Like some people work through things a lot quicker. It just really depends where you are. And don't ever judge anybody. You have to please show yourself some compassion. For goodness sakes, things come together, the divine timing. It's like when there's a death, we all process things and heal in our own way, right? So this person might heal faster than the others. That has nothing to do with you. That's their journey. That's how they handle things. Your journey is your own sacred journey. So if somebody keeps asking you, why haven't you not let go of that left yet? Let them go. Let that person go. You know what? Because you don't need to defend. You're on a journey of self-discovery. We all are. And it's through our journey we learn more and more about ourselves. Like I had to go back to my surgeon. I was all freaked out on Monday, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what. I was just like a little bit of that fear in me. I really was, honestly. And even though spirit was giving me all of these signs in so many ways that you're okay, right? So, that was okay. And I have to go back on the 27th of this month as well to get, a couple other results for something else, right? So it's like staying positive, being optimistic, trusting the process, and so on. This is a huge year of health. So for those of you who are like working out more, making dietary changes, or maybe healing like from surgeries, or having to go into surgeries and so on and so on. Also, your animals, the same thing. You are going to see even results coming. Like this full moon on the 21st, this strawberry full moon in Capricorn. Taurus, Cancer, Capricorn are going to get really affected during this time. We all get affected under full moons and new moons and different transit times. However, those three signs will get affected more. So you might find that you could be more emotional than others. You might find that you're going to be reflecting back on your life, like especially your family life and your work life and so on, like that. You're going to really want that balance. And also on the full moon, be really extra careful, pay attention, really listen to that inner guru, because there's a lot of deception that day as well. Like on the new moon that I talked about, you're going to see results, right? When was it? The 6th, I think it was, the new moon, June 6th new moon, I think it was, right? You're going to see those results even on the full moon this week on the 21st. So what were you working on then, right? You're going to see that coming more so on the 21st. You're also going to be letting go and doing some reflecting even more over the past 6 months. Reflect back, see where you are now. You know, there's lots of changes, of course, that's part of life. What what are you doing on this full moon? How many of you guys howl at the moon? I used to howl with my Irish Wolfhound McTavish on the full moon, right? You know, put your crystals out as well for those of you who wear crystals or have crystals, you know, because that full moon energy will vibrate the frequency of your crystal. It'll cleanse it and so on, you know, and that's a really big day for manifesting as well. Set your intentions, really set your intentions. You know, you might even be reflecting back, especially this week, even around the full moon, on your childhood. You know, just different memories you might find sneaking up towards you on the 20th, 21st, 22nd of your childhood. If you're reflecting back on friends, if you're reflecting back on family, if you're, you know, reflecting back on traumatic situations, you know, the good and the bad and the ugly, as I call it, right? You know, I've been in more contact with somebody from my childhood, um, a little bit more right now because I know her sister is not well. So I'm not gonna talk about it or who or anything like that. If you're watching the video, you know who you are. And my heart goes out to you and your family and everything. I'll get teary-eyed, so I don't want to talk about it. So now you're gonna really see this week open up more for you. And also this week, with all of these energies, really try to move your body around a lot more, right? Like I'm not able to go back to the gym as of yet because of my surgery. I'm still healing and so on and so on. So I have to be extra careful not to lift anything or, you know, to bend over. Even maintenance cleaned out my bathtub. I haven't been able to clean it yet because I'm not supposed to bend over. You know, I don't want no ruptures on stitches and all. No, we're not even going to go there. So I'm taking it a little extra careful myself. So, you know, really balance that out and pay really attention to this, right? And really pay attention to what you want to achieve because, you know, it's like with our soul's purpose and our soul's calling, start writing down what you're passionate about, like I'm saying. Start writing down different things that you'd like to change or different things that you want to work towards or what you want to learn more about and so on and so on. I keep hearing the mountains for somebody. Um, Literally. I don't know if some of you guys are going away and getting up to the mountains or going on hikes or something or just getting away as a little retreat, but I keep hearing the mountains for someone, and I'm also seeing um elk. So maybe you're going to see elk, you know, on the roadside or wherever, and also buffalo for some reason. Elk and buffalo I'm hearing really strongly coming through. So if you guys are wanting to go to the mountains or you're thinking, you know what, I'd really like to get away to the mountains or to book that vacation towards the mountains or whatever, do that. Here's your confirmation to do this, right? So you're also going to find that with this Venus energy, how many of you have been recently connecting more with people from your past? Um, how many of you have found that certain people from your past have reconnected with you and opened up their heart more towards you when you're like, wow, like, I can't believe that my friend or family, you know, that I haven't heard from in a long time, or maybe person of interest actually reached out to me, you know, and they were saying, hey, when are we going to get together? When can I see you? Or how are you doing? You know, something more heartfelt, really heartfelt, right? How many of you have experienced that? Or how many of you have reached out to people from your past, especially last week and so on? This Venus energy is still with us. So with this Venus energy, also, by the way, this Venus energy can bring in a little sweetness, as I call it. So some of you might be a little bit more drawn and having cravings for sweets, and sugary treats and such like that. So really kind of pay attention to whenever you're getting pulled towards that and drawn towards that and so on and so on. Right. Even when I was, in the store the other day, I was getting some stuff and I walked past, like I have a sweet tooth myself. Right. And I'm like, oh my God, I love chocolate. And I'm like, no, you are not. Right. So I went and got some bananas. You know what I'm saying? So you might find that you're going to get a little bit more pulled towards, having that sweet tooth. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as there's that moderation and balance and so on and so on. So now these planetary influences also affects your body. I get different people saying, gosh, Jeni, why is my neck sore? Why is I'm feeling sick, why, like whatever it is, right? And when these planetary energies affects your body, it affects your animals' bodies too, right? The 15th to the 16th could affect your kidneys a little bit more, your urinary, your bladder, your skin, and your veins. Like the day I had to go back to my surgeon, and I'm like, oh my God, what's happening that day with the body? It was all blood connected. And I'm like, oh my, that's what I was actually concerned about. Like, oh my God, is this going to bleed? Is it like, I was a little worried. And thank you for Nurse Taylor. I'm so grateful for you looking after me. Like, oh my gosh, I called her my hero. I said, Taylor, you're my hero today. I did. Right. All these people were looking around, so I was kind of walking out and she was walking me out. I'm like, you're my hero. Like, I just love you. Thank you. These people are like, oh my God, right? I'm so grateful for the smallest things, right? How many of you have told somebody, I really appreciate you? I really appreciate you, right? For what you're doing or what you're said, or you're there for me or whatever like that. Utilize that and say that, because life is so fragile. I've been talking about it for a long time now, right? So really speak from your heart, because you could have had a past challenging couple of days as well. And you're like, like I bumped heads with my boss or my business associates or my partner or like whoever it was. Right. So you might find that, you're going to want to be speaking out a little bit more of your self-worth and such like that, because you're going to want to be resolving. It's like that inner voice can have a tendency to come out. How many of you like, I can't believe I just said that. Oh my gosh, right? Because your soul wants you to get that out. So try not to be hard on yourself. And you might even find that the 17th to the 19th, especially for your males out there, like your genital areas might be a little bit more sensitive, your prostate and your anus and such like that as well. And your dogs, you might find that your dogs are licking themselves a little bit more and you're like, what's going on? Like, do they need their anal glands flashed or like whatever, right? So your dogs, your animals will get affected as well. They're a soul. They're here on the earth, of course, right? You might find the 20th and 21st, your liver's a little bit off, your hips and your thigh areas as well. And make sure you're stretching gently. Gentle stretches, you guys, gentle stretches. And please slow down. Please slow down. Like, you might even find on the 21st, especially on this full moon, right, that you get angry. Full moons touch our emotions, right? And it can make a little thing seem a lot more intense and higher. So you might get angry, like the day of the full moons, especially. I try not to get out there and drive, because all of a sudden that you could see somebody's like that. They just speed right past you. And I'm like, that guy or person is having a not so good day. And I'm like, Spirit, please slow them down. Because when we get in that high emotions, right, we can act out on that and say something or do something. And we're like, oh God, accidents occur, right? If you're driving, it can occur, all kinds of things like that. And don't mouth off. I don't know why, for some reason. So as I was talking about somebody driving faster, the emotions are high. You know how I just talked about somebody speeding. If you do get pulled over by the police, be really extra careful and cautious that you don't start mouthing off to this officer. I'm literally seeing somebody getting pulled over from speeding, You know, the police comes up, driver's license, insurance, da 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 da, and you start mouthing off to that officer, don't do that. You could get taken away, like honestly. So if that happens to you, let me know. Or you know somebody that it happens to, let me know. Because I'm hearing that really loudly, like, oh my goodness. So when I have a message from spirit, I just say it, especially when I'm hearing it over and over and over again. Right? Please be cautious driving. So, anyways, now let's pull a couple of cards to see what the collective, the universe has to say for you. The collective energies will affect all of us different. And let me know, like, if you resonate with this card, then this card is the one for you. And make sure you clear your deck 3 times, knock it on wood before you utilize it to clear it from your energy or whoever else was using your cards and such like that. And I really want you guys to really tune in to where you're getting drawn to, right? Like some of you will see this week that you're right on target with your calling, your purpose, your destiny, and so on. You're going to see and get some confirmations this week, right? And if you're like, I'm not, then take that pause for you and say, okay, am I happy with my career or my job or what I'm doing? No. Okay. Start writing down what you'd like to do. If you could have any job or career on this planet, what would you do? Start writing it down. Start writing what you're passionate about. What are you guys really passionate about? And it can be anything, like literally anything. So, okay. Let's ask the spirit world, what's the message, cosmic message from the 15th to the 21st of June? The cosmic message from the 15th to the 21st of June. The cosmic message. Wow. Details, details. Now the card here is details to actually. So if you guys are signing any contracts, or let's say you're like, you know what, I want to take that course, really pay attention to the details, what's involved with it, with what you're doing and such like that. You know what I mean? If you're signing a contract to get into a new lease agreement or buying property or buying a new vehicle or like anything that you're like, you know what, I got to really do some research on this and such. Like if you wanted to take like a course, I would do research. Maybe some of you actually want to go into a classroom. Maybe some of you are like, you know what, that's not going to work for me. I'm going to do the course online. Like find out the details if there's deadlines with it. Find out what you need to do or what you need to change and so on and so on and so on, right? If some of you are writing, make sure that you're paying attention to certain details with what you're doing, or if you have, especially signing contracts, I'm hearing more so for some reason. So just kind of take your time and not rush in. You could always check with a lawyer, an attorney, or somebody to help you sign anything that you're not sure about and so on. Like if I was getting into an agreement, like I have different lawyers myself, so there's an agreement that came in with the US with something. So before I signed that contract, I sent it to my lawyer and I'm like, can you just look over this and make sure everything's okay. I just want to make sure, right? I think it is. So you know what I mean? Or somebody that's knowledgeable or whoever, right? I'm just saying, watch those details this week coming up for you. So I'm going to pull this deck for some reason. So now, what is the cosmic message from the 15th to the 21st this week? 15th to the 21st of June. 15th to the 21st of June. What's the message? And the spirit world. And also, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but on the 20th of June during that solstice, it's the longest day of the year, and people celebrate, of course. What you do that day, or if you're working on like a new project or something or whatever it is, you're going to see those results coming in December towards the later end of this year. So whatever it is you're starting or working on, let's say. So be patient with yourself. Message from the spirit world. Birth. Birth. Oh, how cool. So birth is like rebirth. Maybe you're rebirthing a new project, like just as I was saying, right? Maybe some of you are giving birth this week. Maybe some of you have found out that you're pregnant this week. Maybe some of you are revamping and following your soul's calling and your soul's purpose. Maybe some of you are going through that transformational breakthrough where you're like, I feel really good about walking towards this direction and making those changes. Maybe some of you are seeing, wow, you know what? I can clearly see this week that I'm right on cue. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I can really feel I'm right on target with my soul's calling and purpose and destiny. Right. And sometimes we have to get more in touch with nature, like whenever I used to go out with my dog Bella, I'd have my phone with me, but I'd have it turned off. Like I'd have it on mute because that was my time with just her and I. And sometimes, whenever I do go out, like I normally have my phone on me, but I just turn the volume off because I'm just taking time out for me, no matter what it is. And I get back to people later in messages and so on and so on. But we need time for ourselves, right? And I've talked about hiking. Some of you might be really drawn to go more hiking. You know how I mentioned the mountains? I see the mountains. Maybe some of you are going hiking in the mountains. Maybe some of you are like, you know what? I want to go spend the day in the mountains to get some fresh air, to, like take time out for me to meditate, to get away, all of those things. It can make a huge difference, right? No matter where it is, if it's the ocean. The only mountains I'm drawn to are the Himalayan mountains and the Colorado mountains. Honestly, to be honest, I'm not drawn to the Rocky Mountains here in Alberta. They're beautiful and all, don't get me wrong, but I'm just not drawn to them at all. I don't connect with that energy. I don't connect with the energy for many reasons. So anyways, now, I'm an animal communicator and so on and so on. So let's connect with the animals and see what messages they have for us. And as I keep mentioning, your animals will get affected during these cosmic times. That's why even like on the new moon, more people will pass and even your animals will pass. How many of you all of a sudden seen where there's posting where, gosh, I just saw all these different postings where somebody's animal have just passed away. Like there's been a few of them all of a sudden. Or you might find different days when, there's more passing with other people. However, because of what's happened, I'm not going to talk about it more, but all of these sudden people are passing from this, and this. We all know what that's from, but I'm not going to go on about it. So I'm just outraged. Like all of us are, I'm sure, for those of you who are tuned in and know what I'm talking about. So anyways, what is the message from our animal kingdom from the 15th to the 21st? Wow. Now look at this little cute little guy, right? The energy that fell through is the beaver, which represents productiveness. Go ahead and just do it. Are you following your soul's purpose this week? What steps are you taking to make it happen? Just do it. Do it. When you follow your heart, you listen to your soul, you're going to see things coming into alignment, right? When your mind is really scattered, all over the place, you're not listening to your soul speak. Like take that pause and time out. Really take that pause and time out. Just take that silence time for you. And even as I was coming back from my surgeon, I was driving back home, and I was so grateful. And all of a sudden, as I was driving, I saw a little King Charles Cavalier that looked exactly like Bella going for her little walk. Somebody was taking her for a walk, and I'm like, oh my God. Thank you, Bella, for being with me. So our animals talk to us in many ways, many, many ways. So now make sure that if you want a free reading by me, you tune in on Friday, June the 28th at 11 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Mountain Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern, in order to catch a free psychic clairvoyant reading by me. If not, you can always book privately. soulworkwithjeni.com. Follow me on Instagram, Jeni Ji Cousins, or Jeni Cousins, and you'll see a lot more postings going up there, and I'll follow you back. Okay, so namaste. Please like my channel. It helps support my channel. Make some comments. Let me know what's going on with you guys. I'm a chatter, right? And let me know how this week has been for you. Just be more mindful of Cancer, Capricorn, Taurus during this full moon on the 21st, the strawberry moon. It's a day where people pick more strawberries and the summertime starts opening up, and the solstice, and very high vibrational day, very high vibrational day. Okay, everyone, namaste.